Kyo, broom.
Hello. I'm guessing you're here for a review. And that's what I'll give you. Okay, well, great day. I was just at the Fantastic Beasts premiere yesterday. And this is going to be my honest review. Fantastic Beasts. The Crimes of Grindelwald. Okay, so let's get started, right? Now, background. I liked, but I wasn't particularly fond of the first installment. You know, it was a good film, but I just wasn't as in love with it as I was with, you know, Harry Potter and all that. And in truth, I've never been, you know, a huge fan, as big a fan of as that of you know, Star Wars or Marvel, but more, it's all the same. I have been a fan. A casual fan, let's say. So, I went to this with the knowledge of all the other films, and I hadn't seen the first one, The Fantastic Beasts, since it came out in 2016. But I have a pretty good memory, so I remembered, you know, all the important points, pretty much everything, you know, all the characters. I remembered all that, so I was going in with general knowledge, and I was not at all confused. Honestly, this film does such a good job with that. So you can go in, and even if you haven't seen any others, everyone's reintroduced, but not in a way that hinders the plot or the pace. Everyone's reintroduced naturally, and you can just pick up from there. This could literally be the first Wizarding World movie you see, and you'll be fine, honestly. This movie naturally progresses the Wizarding World in a realistic manner, you know. So this movie, we get a lot of the kind of the politics of the Wizarding World and magic and stuff. And yeah, I'm gonna say, when Star Wars did that in The Phantom Menace, people weren't happy. But you know, in a movie that takes place within the real world, within our world, even though there's, you know, a whole hidden, you know, society of wizards, it still takes place on Earth with our history, and I think that's the right way to go. And it worked really well. I was intrigued by this, you know, different opinions, racism essentially within the Wizarding World, you know, based on some stuff we saw in Harry Potter, you know, pure blood, smuggle bloods, no magi or whatever they call them. This movie has a great cast of, you know, first of all, the villain, Grindelwald, played by Johnny Depp. People were apprehensive about this at first. I never was, and I'm happy I never was, because he is a great villain. He's really good. He acts in his own way. It's not just a general bad guy villain. Although I'm going to say the general story does kind of write him in that way, but his performance takes it elsewhere. So I mean, there's one scene near the start where you just kind of guess what's going to happen. You know, once he sees something, and you're like, oh, is he going to do that? Yeah, he does that. But his performance, Johnny Depp's performance, blows it out of the water. It's not. I think it's kind of similar to the Joker in The Dark Knight, but not a carbon copy. It's, if the Joker was put within the Wizarding World, but he was kind of crazy, he kind of wasn't. That's what Grindelwald is. Now I'm going to say the story of this film is much better than the first one. I mean, the first one's kind of just a general kind of introduction story, but there wasn't that much going on. This one, there's a lot going on. Each character gets big development. Even the kind of lesser characters, the supporting cast from the last one, they have much bigger roles, such as Queenie and Tina. They're roles that really suit their characters, and I was really happy with how their characters progressed. And honestly, it was really surprising. This movie, it does surprise us so well. There are plot twists, there are major reveals, and things you don't expect. But they're done so well, like really well. They just don't. At one point, right, we get one character trying to learn something, some secret or whatever. I'm not going to say any more than that. And when all the characters are reunited in that spot, there's kind of like a murder mystery going on. This character knows this character knows that character knows that. And, it's kind of a flashback frenzy for, 20 minutes, where they're kind of trying to know the truth, that, deduce what's happening. I think this movie should have had more of that, because that was so good. My favourite characters in this movie were Letter the Strange and Dumbledore. They were really good. Obviously Jude Law, he's going to be good. But what I really liked is the way they kind of tease the history of these characters without, doing it chronologically, so we kind of see how some, when we're introduced to the characters, right, they act in a certain way, and maybe we think that it's a bit strange or something, but then when we see their flashbacks later on, we're like, that's why. And I really like that, because it's character development behind the scenes. We think it's just weird acting or weird writing, but no, it's really good writing, actually. And Dumbledore himself, we get some good history with him. And I'm going to say this, the movie, a lot of fans want particular things, and some other fans don't want those things. The movie really, really does as well. Gives both fans what they want. So there are some scenes that might imply something. If you want that thing to be true, the implication makes it true. But if you don't want it to be true, it's nothing more than the line it is. And that is really good writing, really smart thinking, because no one can be angry, no one can be upset, everyone's going to be happy. And I think that's the right thing they should have done. Now this movie ties in a lot closer to Harry Potter. Obviously, we've got some of the characters, we've got Dumbledore, Hogwarts. If you haven't seen the trailers, I don't really want to say more than those, but there are other characters from Harry Potter, either that we've seen or we've heard of. But, okay, I'm going to say this, right. Take the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Those movies do a really good job of teasing each other through Easter eggs and characters and lines. This is that for the Wizarding World. The Crimes of Grindelwald it could be hundreds of Easter eggs. I saw maybe 10, 20 Easter eggs. There are going to be loads. Characters that we just heard of in Harry Potter pop up here. Things that we've seen in Harry Potter in the background or pop up really quickly. It's an Easter egg frenzy, and honestly, when you go see this movie, go and look for those Easter eggs. It's honestly fun, because when I noticed these things, I was like, oh my god, yeah, that's that thing. And there are some characters that might sound familiar, and if you think back, you'll remember that you saw or heard that character in one of the previous Harry Potter films, and I was like, oh my god, that is actually really smart. I love that. Though you could argue that maybe it's kind of making it kind of decreasing the size of the Wizarding World, because so many characters and Easter eggs crossing with each other, it just makes the world smaller. You can argue that, and I see that, but I don't agree with that. I think it's for the better. Now obviously this movie, we've got American and British actors. All of them, every single one, plays their part exceptionally. They're really good. There's nothing you can say about the acting other than positive points. They're all fantastic. Now, to be completely honest, the best part about this movie are the actors. You know, even from, you know, the A-list actors this movie has to the child actors they just hired for, you know, flashbacks. In one flashback, right, we see Newt, and it's played by some other actor. He plays it exactly like Eddie Redmayne. Exactly like Eddie Redmayne. He even looks quite a lot like him. Like, honestly, I don't even know how they did it. It is so good. It was so good. All of it. Like, all the acting is just sublime, and nothing can even, you know, touch it. There's no faulty acting at any point with any character in the movie. I'm just going to say, this movie does everything the original did well. This does it, and it does it better. It doesn't take any of the good stuff out. It takes all the bad stuff out and replaces it with good stuff, and does all the good stuff better. It's a sign it's learning. Now, to be completely honest, there are some big plot twists and some big major reveals in this movie. You know, we have, obviously I'm not going to say, but we have some from the start and some right at the very end. And some of them are major game changers, not just for the Fantastic Beasts franchise, but the Wizarding World as a whole, you know, Fantastic Beasts and Harry Potter. Some of them are really big, and if you're a Harry Potter fan but not a Fantastic Beasts fan, or one or the other, or you're just a casual fan or whatever, really go and see this movie, like, yeah, honestly, as soon as possible. Like, I don't know, this weekend if you can, because if you get some of this stuff spoiled, it's never going to be unspoiled. Never. I think it would have been better though if they kept a reveal at the end for like a later movie, so we actually got a bit more invested in the characters, and they dropped something like that, you know, in the penultimate one or the, you know, the middle one, and you're like, oh my god. They didn't do that, but still, the plot twist is huge. Okay, now I'm just gonna say anything I wish they did better, but honestly, there's not much I think they could have done better. Like, usually when I review a film, I think, what would I have done? And if I can't think of much, the film is good. And honestly, I cannot think of much. And there's, okay, a lot of times when, you know, you go and see a movie, some you really enjoy, you know, are the ones that whisk you in and, you know, make you feel like you're in the film, not watching one. I mean, that's very hard for some movies to do, but some do. Yeah, some really do. And this is one of them. No, genuinely, I was whisked in for most of it. And the only time I actually was brought out of that is when I dropped my water bottle and I couldn't reach it. But yeah. Really good. And yeah, there's really not much I don't like. But okay, I'll tell you the one thing I didn't like. So I went to see this on an IMAX, on like one of the best IMAX screens in the world. It's a laser IMAX screen, and it's a huge one. It's not you know, one of the full IMAX ones, but you know, it's a huge digital with laser IMAX, so it's meant to have the best colors. If I'm honest, a couple of scenes, like the very first scene and one scene around the middle, it was kind of hard to follow what was happening. I don't know, it was just, everything was really, I guess because they have to keep the, you know, the colouring consistent throughout Harry Potter and Fantastic Beasts. But, I don't know, they could have brightened it up a bit, because it just got kind of hard to follow. Even with one creature, just the, you know, the saturation, it just made it a little-ish hard to follow. I don't know, it just, but that's nitpicky. Like, it doesn't take you out of the film at all. It's just something I noticed. Well, I've seen movies do a lot worse, so yeah. Now obviously I really can't get into spoilers on this one, so there's not that much to talk about. This is just a general overview. It's not too long, hopefully. But I will get more into it in a spoiler review. But I'll give it a score now, and then I don't know. You can come back after you've seen it for my spoiler review, and we'll get more in depth into Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. So, what do I think? I think it is really good, very good. Not, groundbreaking, but it's great. It's not just one of those just fun movies, but it's actually really good. I really liked some of the stuff they did. It is quite groundbreaking actually, and I don't know. It was a breath of fresh air from the Harry Potter franchise, because they always got bleak and bleaker, and this one was bleak, but it was bleak while being realistic, and that's what I kind of like from this franchise. But I do hope that we get a bit lighter. But anyway, so very, very good. Fully 100% recommend you see this, even if you're a fan or not a fan or whatever. Just watch it, please. You won't regret it. You shouldn't regret it. Maybe you're that 1%, but no, you won't regret it. You'll like it. Yeah. So, shall we do it? Scorio Revelio. Wow. 84%. That is very good. And yeah, that means you should watch it. 100% watch it. You don't have to go to IMAX. You really don't have to go to IMAX. But it makes things a lot easier. It makes it easier to see the Easter eggs. It does look a lot nicer on it. So if you want to go to IMAX, it's entirely your choice, but just see the movie as soon as possible. The hashtag of this movie is literally protect the secrets. And it's that for a reason, because there are some big secrets to be protected. So, that actually wasn't intentional. I wasn't trying to be comical there, but whatever. Yeah, so that's Accio. So that's my review of my non-spoiler review of Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. If you want to get more in depth into it, I'm really being restricted by spoilers. I don't even want to speak about little things. But if you really want to get my true opinions on it, my true thoughts, watch the movie, which you definitely need to do, and then see my spoiler review where we'll get really into depth of things. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I have been Playstar. You have been my viewers. Please, please, please subscribe. Please, it means the world to me. Just subscribe. You know what? No, I don't know the canon spell for mind control or whatever, but viewerio, subscribeo. Oh, and viewerio, likeo. That means you need to like it as well. But yeah. Anyway, yeah. So thank you greatly for watching. I have been placed. Oh, I've already done this, haven't I? Let's just obliviate that. See, I don't remember these. Anyway, yes. Thank you for watching. And until next time. Mischief managed.